All right, guys, here we are, and we're kicking off this episode with something I'm very passionate about and something that I think really is a major problem within the world that a lot of people are scared to talk about. And that is it must be nice mentality. It must be nice that they got that new car. It must be nice that they got the big house. It must be nice that, oh, she has these shoes or this watch or whatever. And what most people don't understand is you're judging someone's chapter on not your chapter. You're judging their life and you don't know what it took to get there. You're judging their life on literally hours and hours and hours of grinding, years of grinding, and have you grinded like they have grinded? Me personally, I've always, if I saw somebody pull up in a Lamborghini, I, as a young boy, would want to learn from them. I never have been jealous or against them. But what I have found out in my own success and my wife's success is people will literally talk to us and then we find out they are talking pure shit behind our back to a friend of ours that they don't even know we know. And that's a really sad part of life because anyone who knows me knows I'm the first to speak. I am the first to give honest advice for free. I'm the first to buy someone's meal. Um, I try to pride myself in being more of a giver. If I mean, my wife will tell you if I see somebody on the side of the street, homeless, that pulls my heartstrings, depending upon the moment. I'm trying to teach my kids to like we help others, we help the church, we help. Um, I bet I'm on 20 baseball, football, softball, cheerleaders, church outfits that I sometimes tell people, you don't even have to put my logo. I just buy all the shirts. And that's what people don't see because I don't post that. I don't go talk about that. I donated to the police department, the fire department, that this person, my wife taught me years ago. I mean, one of the biggest givers I know, not just with giving, for instance, but like giving another real estate agent her time. But yet, we have been told locally my wife is the most hated real estate agent in Alamance County. How can my wife be number one, but she's hated on? And the sad part is, if anybody got to know Amber, even if you don't work for Amber, she would give you her time or her encouragement or her thoughts and make you a better agent. She's all for everybody can win. I tell people this there's close to 20 gyms in Alamance County in a 3 mile radius of mine. That's um, big gyms, little gyms, private studios, everything. My wife will tell you I put gym equipment in most of them. Technically, people would say, oh, well, they're competition to me. No, they're not. And I'll explain why, because we all offer something different. If you love Bob Joe's gym, by all means, I support you. Go to Bob Joe. I'll mention a guy named Brian, good friend of mine, owns a huge women's gym in my town. I helped him build the whole gym from the ground floor. This man is a member of my gym, and I've always sent people his way. He offers classes. I don't. So that's is why I tell people, I'm like, listen, you can cross promote and still all win. His gym does great, so does mine. My wife does great. There's other real estate agents that we are good friends with. They kill it too. She wants to see them win.
What it comes down to is your mindset. And I think people that hate on other people or jealous of other people or whatever triggers them, it's they lack an abundance mindset.
Mhm.
And I've been there before too, where I've had a very, very limited mindset and people have triggered me. And that's been about what I would say 15 to 20 years ago. You're usually triggered by somebody else because you're missing a skill or knowledge that they have
Mhm.
that you need to get. And yes, it must be nice that they have all these things, but I promise you, anybody that we've ever met that has achieved any level of high success has been through so much stuff. They've went through hardships, they've went through struggles, they've lost friends, they've lost financial, people have stole from them. And instead of hating that person, I think you should really push yourself to get to know that person and ask them, like, what is your story? And what have you been through? And what are you going through right now? And what are lessons that I can learn from you? And what's advice that you can give me? When I get a phone call from a real estate agent or even other local business owners and they reach out to me and say, Amber, this is what's happening in my life. This is what I'm dealing with employees or in my business, or my profit and loss is off. There is nothing more that I love to sit down with those people for 30 minutes to an hour. Yesterday, I spent like 2 hours with somebody and help them through that journey. I think sometimes two things. Success looks a lot different, the outside looking in. And I think when you are achieving success, like if I were to ask you 15 to 20 years ago, did you really think your success was going to look like this
No,
when you got here? And did you know everything that came along with it?
no,
And did you know every struggle you were going to go through?
no.
But you're still that same person inside. You've just grown. You're still that same person inside that one day wanted to do something big. You didn't know what it was going to lead to. I remember when we were buying and selling gym equipment just for your own personal gym, and I looked at you and said, we're making more money selling this gym equipment than all of our other businesses combined. You know, you need people in your life to tell you things like that sometimes because you can get tunnel vision. But if you're feeling,
And to go back to that, that was just something I was extremely passionate about.
yeah,
That was just
you just
something
followed
that
it.
that I followed with. She'll tell you everybody thinking I'm crazy.
Yeah.
What are you selling this old rusty junk for?
I even remember sitting on the back porch of your parents' house and your dad was like, what are you going to go sell gym equipment for? And it just vividly remember that
He just
conversation with him.
didn't
He didn't see
understand.
it.
No.
But that's where the hate comes in sometimes.
Yeah.
Is you can't
And we
hate.
were mad at each other that day.
Yeah. You can't
But
hate.
then once he figured out, he supported it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't hate somebody else's vision because it's not your vision.
Yeah.
You need to take that hate and direct that energy inside of you and say, what is it I hate about myself? Or what is it I'm lacking? And what do I need to do? What do I need to follow? What is it I love? And go do that thing. Because the beautiful thing about us both owning businesses is we're both on similar journeys of doing what we love, and we vibrate off of each other. Usually his busy season is my slow season. When we're slow, we get in mind funks. It just naturally is what happens. We pull each other out of those mind funks. Anytime that I feel like you are isolating yourself, that's when your mind and the devil's going to attack you. And you need to have people around you. And that's the reality. I don't care how successful you are, you're going to have bad days. You're going to have struggles. You're going to have hardships. That's part of the
And
journey.
you're going to have naysayers.
1,000%.
You're going to have the people that no matter what you do, no matter how nice you are to them, no matter, you have to, I've almost learned just to like kill them with kindness, but literally even go above, if they call me, even go above and beyond for them.
Yeah. They just need love.
Yeah. And it's their own insecurities. I used to get this everywhere I go. I was a national level bodybuilder for years. And when I had my children, and my wife will tell you, I downsized 50 pounds. I had a knee replacement. What you see now is a product of sheer diet and consistency of 7 days a week, cardio. There's no magic pills. There's no, magic formulas. And still,
You're the most consistent, rigid person with your food, your vitamins, your supplements, your exercise. Like it's a non-negotiable for you.
yeah, it's I don't perform well. I want to be as optimal as possible, but I will still, to this day, get somebody at a gas station to scream steroids. They don't even have a clue. First of all, did you know I've been training for 29 years? 12 years old, I'll be 41. Secondly, do you know my daily regimen of my lunchbox everywhere? My foods, my protein shakes. No matter, non-negotiable where I go. If we fly, my wife has a meal or two with me. That way I can eat at the airport before I get on the plane. You're judging me without even truly knowing me. And if you stopped and asked me, I would tell you free advice of exactly what you need to do. But here's the kicker. 99.9% of the world won't do it. They won't implement. Amber can give them the blueprint of the real estate agent. They won't do it. Somebody could say, hey, I got 10 million. I want to go buy all the gym equipment around. And they get the big warehouse, and guess what? Could they duplicate what I'm doing? I'm not saying they can't, but Do you have the contacts, the connection, and the knowledge and the biomechanics and the thousands and thousands and thousands of hours that I have researched and studied since I was a child of the Arthur Jones Nautilus machines, of the biomechanics of the movements? This is something in my brain. You cannot take that away from me. I have the College of Hard Knocks of sheer research and study, of being super passionate about what I do, which led me to the journey now that some asshole is judging me for, who don't even know what I do for a living and how I got to where I'm at.
It comes down to, you can have all the knowledge in the world. You have to do it. You have to have the discipline
Correct.
and consistency. And where the hate comes inside of one person is they hate themselves because they're not holding themselves disciplined and consistent in what it is they're wanting to do. It has nothing to do with you. And I just had this conversation with my real estate team yesterday. You should only allow the judgment of the people that you would want to trade lives with to affect you. Everybody else, you just have to understand that's coming from a very prideful, insecure place. And you really just need to let them be and allow that hate. And this is the season of life we're in. Allow that hate to motivate you to actually want to go after those people that are hating you and say, I've been where you're at. I've been broken. I'm here to help you. Love on them extra, like you just said. That goes so far. And we all know the people in the world that have some sort of ink towards us.
Well, and I've let her read these things before throughout the years. I couldn't tell you locally
Yeah.
how many people, one guy in particular, I remember, who I really like, who had never told me this. He said, Steven, 15 years ago, I didn't like you. And I remember vividly saying, why? And he said, well,
And they really don't even know you. They just see you.
we had never spoke.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, well, you had the good looking girls, you had the Corvette, you had this, you had muscles, sheer judgment. And the crazy part about it is, and anybody will tell you, because my wife's heard it before she even knew me, it's like, there's no one that can say, oh, well, Steven didn't work his ass off for that car.
The people that know you saw you work when you were like 8 or 9 years old.
Correct.
And they'll say, it's just, I mean, when you're 40, you can't go back and start working at 8 or 9 years old.
Mm-mm.
And I think, I came from a college background. You came from the school of hard knocks. I did too. The value that you get in the doing and the experience and the hardships will never, what am I trying to, college cannot replicate that.
No.
College teaches you. It's in the do that you learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the do that you gain confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the do that you lose your hate for other people and say, like, this shit is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And these people have been through a lot. And I'm in the midst of it too. And I don't know how to overcome this,
Mm-hmm.
And I think the perception of the outside is reality sometimes, but it's not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We even had a mastermind with the local real estate team a couple weeks ago. The perception is she's killing it. She is killing it. I'm not here to say she's not killing it. She's killing it. But internally, she has some struggles right now. And because I've been having a real estate team for like 15 years now, I can go to her and say, this is a breakdown. This is a breakdown. I'm here to help you because I don't want you to go through the same struggles I went through, because it does take a toll on you. And we've both went through seasons of life where like people dimmed our shine and we allowed them to. And now we're at a season of our life where we don't care what you think. Yes, I love you. Yes, you can hate on me, but I want to help you more than I want to see you hate yourself, because your hate towards me is a direction of your hate towards you. And we've hated ourselves in periods and times of our life. We hated what we were doing and the choices we've made, and we've overcome that. And I think that's where like our purpose inside is to, want to tell people, don't hate people, learn from those people.
Well, I think first you have to learn where hate comes from is how someone feels within themselves.
1000%.
Nothing to do with financials, just so everybody realizes this.
No.
I'll use you for example. My wife, 2 children, young kids, back to back. Our kids are 14 and a half months apart.
C-sections.
C-sections. She can't get her body back right. She will tell you, I've told her every day for 17 years how beautiful she is. If she is naked running around my house, I'm taught pure shit. And my point is, by this, I think my wife's beautiful no matter what. I think a pregnant woman is beautiful. And so I always told her, even when she was huge, but I will tell you, no matter what I say,
Yeah.
if she does not feel it, so we're going to go back 6 months ago. Amber's in a funk. She's not feeling right. We've got some event. I don't even know. Maybe it was Olympia.
Maybe.
Maybe right before that.
To give you
And
perspective, I'm 42, almost 43 years old. I've had 2 C-sections in my late 30s, IVF with our son. I have my tubes tied, which can trigger a lot of hormonal things. I'm sure my cortisol levels are like here from 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. most days. Like, so the life I live does not always keep me probably in a balanced hormonal state, to
right.
be quite honest with you. And I am a person that can carry a lot. I can handle a lot and keep my
Well, I
shit
think you'll
together,
neglect yourself, though.
but my body carries it.
Right.
And your body, you can never hide the stress from your body. Even if I carry it well on the outside and I can do a lot, my body, I don't want to say it's shutting down, but it doesn't carry it well after a while. Like stress is the worst thing ever for a body, male or female. It is the worst thing ever for cortisol levels, your hormone levels, your every aspect of your life, you know? So he's Mr. like walking, stay healthy, get my levels checked, work out, have my food prepped by your wife every day, stay on a regimen, where I'm strung out very, very thin. And because I love people, I sacrifice myself all the
To
time
a fault.
to a fault. It's naturally just what I do.
So purposely, what I've done this for years, but really implemented it the past 4 or 5 months,
Absolutely.
is I was finally like, Amber, do you need help? So we hooked her up with my diet guy, who's been amazing for her. And the funny thing about it is the scale didn't move for weeks.
And that's the most defeating thing. I think I had a vision, and this is where you're probably at too. I had a vision of what success was going to look like. And to me, success in my journey was I'm going to work out, do my morning cardio, get up an hour earlier every day, food prep myself, and I'm going to drop 10 or 15 pounds because I'm going to be consistent and actually commit to it. And the coach and Steven held me accountable to it. But that's not what success looked like. Success in my body looked like losing inches, tightening up, feeling better, having more energy, being able to deliver more confidence in all aspects of my
Because
life.
she's more confident, but the scale didn't budge.
All I was focused on was the
Yeah,
scale.
don't worry
So
about
one
the
day I
scale.
had like a meltdown of like, I'm freaking failing. I'm doing all this shit to the nth degree. And this freaking scale actually has went up a little bit. When I started, I was like 165. Even this morning, and I'm on a journey. I was like 168, but I'm like smaller in size. I'm tighter. I know I can see my face looks different. My energy levels are higher. I have more passion and energy to give life. So I think oftentimes what we are comparing ourselves against is where the hate comes from. And we have a vision of what success looks like. But in reality, that's not what success looks like for us.
Sure.
And I had, Laura Lee like spoke this over to me. Don't step on this scale. Love how you feel. Love your body. And I think if you're in a season of like hating somebody else for how they look or the life they live or the stuff they have, you need to ask yourself what's important to you. And what does success feel like on the inside of you that's going to fulfill you? Because I'll tell you when you're a little young kid and you do that little thing, I'm sure the guys didn't do this, but you did the little thing called MASH and you picked out like your kids' names and the car you wanted to have and the house you wanted to have. There is a diminishing value to the stuff. And when you get to this level of success, I think when you start out and you're younger, you think success is buying the Range Rover, having the G-Wagon, living in the house that you want to live in. None of that means nothing. If you're not being fulfilled, if you don't have a healthy relationship with your significant other, if you're not healthy and you don't feel good about yourself, all of those things mean absolutely zero. But we hate other people for those things.
Well, you know this, and I tell everyone this now. I probably say it 5 times a week. Money don't mean shit.
No.
And I say that because anyone of financial success that if they've lost a loved one that was very impactful in their life, they would give it all up. We heard Ed Milet speak.
Multiple times now.
Yeah.
But
And literally, I know for a fact to have his father back, he'd give all the financial success up. And this is where I think people, they become so ill towards themselves that they're projecting that
Yeah.
to the wife, to the children, to their business partners, to their
The energy you
employees.
have inside that you give out to the world
Right.
is what you're going to get back.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling a certain, I know when I have days I'm feeling a certain way, and I'll tell Steven, like, I need to go on a walk. I need to read
Well,
something.
tell everybody what we do typically on the weekends if we're not doing
We get up
something.
and we do morning cardio, we work out, and then we go on a walk usually in
But
the
we sauna
afternoon.
cold plunge,
We sauna cold plunge.
and we feel better.
You got to love yourself. You have to pour into yourself. You're never going to get fulfillment from outside things.
And if you're
It's all an inside job
well, if
first.
you're continue grinding in the workplace, and I literally probably 1 to 3 times a week, I have a businessman come who I say, sir, he wants to build a home gym. Sir, what's your budget? I don't ask budget to get somebody's full amount of money. I ask because a piece can be $1,000. The same piece can be $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. And so they'll be like, oh, no budget. And so, money's financials is not a problem.
Yeah.
But then I find out, I'm like, well, sir, how do you feel? And a lot of people open up to me. And so they'll say, Steven, I feel terrible. And I'm like, well, have you had your blood work done? Because I'm not a doctor. No, I've not. They're embarrassed. Then one thing that, and I don't try to ask this question from a male or a female.
Yeah.
I'll say, how's your sex life? And a lot of times, you've been around this.
1000%.
They'll say, oh, Steven, they're struggling as a male to have sex. And let me explain to you something. As a male, if that is a problem and you cannot perform, a male feels this big.
I think we don't realize it's all an internal game before it's an external game. And you become the success inside before it happens on the outside. When I met you, I knew you were going to be successful because of your internal dialect with yourself. You believed in yourself. You pushed yourself hard. You were disciplined. You're consistent. That's what success is. And when you can create this life on the inside that then equates to the life you want to live on the outside, that's where the fulfillment happens. And I think if you've been around, and this is probably what's given me a great perspective on life, as hard as losing my father was, seeing him on his deathbed and realizing what's important makes you realize it's not the success and the stuff and the money. It's the relationships and the people and the love that surrounds you, and doing something you love every day. And that fulfillment is all that matters. And if you get up every day chasing that, asking, bring me people that I can pour into, align me with people that push me to that next level, allow me to see the world how you want me to see it, and see the opportunities when they come our way. There's many opportunities that came our way where if we would have had the wrong mindset, we would have said no to it.
Well, I think people,
and it actually would have blocked us.
I think people saw us grinding.
Yeah, they did.
And you attract like-minded people that see what
Yeah.
you don't see. And Amber will tell you to kind of go back a little bit. I used to be very ashamed of a lot of things that took place in our relationship, in our life, in our financials. It gets me emotional a lot of times, and I'm trying to be good on the podcast, but I ate before I met Amber. I was in so much credit card debt trying to bodybuild, many nights peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I remember vividly my parents not even knowing, because I'm running a nightclub. I'm personal training. But my rent back then was $3,800 a month at my business. So I would have literally $5,000 or come into $5,000. I got to pay rent. I got to pay light bill. I got to pay the car payment. I got to pay this. And everyone on the outside is seeing a 20-some-year-old kid. They think I'm killing it. And I'm literally just trying to make it day to day. So I always tell people I've been there and I know what it's like. But at the same time, what I was ashamed of back then made me realize today that, like, hey, those is what led me to the moments today. People just don't understand what I've been through. And a lot of times, maybe they feel in their 40s ashamed of what they've been to. Why are they broke? But did they rise up? So me and Amber, in all the crazy moments and being broke, listen, for over 10 years, she'll tell you, we missed the birthday parties. We miss the going out. We miss the parties. And
there is a sacrifice.
There's a sacrifice to become successful. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. And that's where I said I would have been probably a crappy father, because I would have missed all the ball games and this and that. But at the end of the day, those struggles, I always tell people in my office at my workplace, led me to be able to help others now, not just within business, but becoming better men, a better father. And by no means are we perfect.
No.
That's the biggest thing. I always tell people, and I use this word, I walk the straight line. Amber's got to keep me on the straight and narrow. I am, I don't want to say wild because I was never like a big drinker. I didn't do drugs. But at the end of the day, like I love to have fun. I love certain things.
I'm definitely the more serious one out of the two of us, and I can get head down focused in on just doing task. You like to be a little bit more of a social butterfly, and that can get distracting. I think you're also easier to be influenced by people, good ways and in bad ways. I think when I first met you, you felt pressure of rising up to the person that everybody else wanted you to be, and that's what'll make you hate yourself. And I think we've went through seasons of growth, and I've lived it too. I'm not here to just point a finger at you, where I lived in a season of life where I was looking for love and attention in all the wrong ways, and it made me hate myself. And I think when you can have that internal dialogue with yourself of what it is that I want, what it is that my soul feels fulfilled doing, who are the people I want to be around, who are the people I want to strive to be like. And we say this a lot. If you're the biggest fish in this pond, you're in the wrong pond. And you need to be the smallest fish in the biggest pond, because that's where you're going to learn. That's where you're going to grow. That's where you're going to gain confidence. That's where the magic happens. It doesn't happen in this pond over here that's hating you. It's happened in this pond over here that's 10 steps ahead of you. That's where you feel fulfilled. That's where you get joy. That's where you get happiness. That's where you break chains. That's where you remove generational curses. That's where you grow yourself so you then can go back and help other people grow. And also know that that's what life's all about. Like, we're not just here to achieve success for ourselves. We're here to pour into other people, our family first, and then everybody around us. That's what feels good. And there's enough for all of us. And I think where the hate comes is you have a limited mindset of thinking just because she has it, I can't. I have it. I want you to have it too.
Or they think that you have it. Why don't I? I
Yeah.
should.
You
But
don't,
they
but
haven't
because you're not
put the
doing the
work
things.
in.
It's all the work.
You have to put the work. People have heard this before. Heart versus talent.
Yeah.
I would take heart
I've always had
every day over talent.
1000%.
I've seen some of the best bodybuilders with a lackluster work ethic that would have killed me on stage that I beat.
Yeah.
That I shouldn't have beat.
I think one of the most beautiful things we heard at one of the conferences with Tim Grover talking about Kobe and Michael Jordan. And he said those two are not the most talented, but they're the ones that work the hardest.
That would show up at 3 a.m.
And that's how we are. I mean, we've had nights where we've went to bed at 2 or 3 a.m. and got back up at 5 or 6 and went on it 7 days a week. We did not have a date night till we were how far into our relationship? Okay, we got together in 2008, 2004, right before we got married is when we had like our first date, because all we did was work. But looking back, like I wouldn't have changed that for anything in the world, because it made us who we are today. And that was our period of sacrifice. You never get the gold without the sacrifice. The gold comes because of the sacrifice.
Well, I think we're going to dive deep into other episodes. And I think this was a great episode just to bring people
Bridge the gap.
to understand maybe a little more us. But I know for a fact whoever's listening to this or whoever's going to listen to this is going to feel, maybe you feel the same way. And
I hope I've triggered you some way today.
me too.
That's where the growth happens.
I don't want to go to a feel-good church. I want to listen to a sermon for 45 minutes and walk out, and then I go sin the second I walk out. I want to feel convicted when I'm in church. I want to feel it. I have walked out of church sometimes being like, I need to be a better man. I need to, and that's what you need. I've always told people, and she'll tell you, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And I think that's the divide with me sometimes is I'm so blunt and raw that people don't understand.
Including me. But I will say this, and this was something Ed Milet said on one of his podcasts with Matthew McConaughey. He said, I don't want to be the nice guy. I want to be the good man, because the good man makes people walk in their values. It makes people walk in their truth. Being a good man is what makes you fulfilled. It's what brings you joy. It's what brings you happiness. And when you're on your deathbed, I don't think you're going to be worried about this stuff. You're going to be worried about, am I a good man? And have I left that good man in other people to carry on?
All right. So if you like this episode, please like and subscribe. Listen, we're going to do some, I'm very blunt here. We're going to do some cool shit. We don't know where this is going to go, but I will tell you with my business, literally 20 years ago, I didn't know that I was going to be one of the biggest distributors around. And Amber probably didn't know that she was going to be number one. You got to speak it into existence. So I'm calling out that this podcast is going to lay millions of eyeballs on it. And whether it does or not, if we impact one person,
That's all
that's
that
all we
matters.
care. If we impact one person in our local city, that's all that matters. So like and subscribe and see you on the next episode.